You can't even respond to it because it's instant. You know, like I said, it's the speed of light. So as soon as they like get you and like hit you, you're done. Like,
it's the eye of Sauron. It just fucking beams down on you and you burst into flames. This is the shit just advanced weaponry.
It's getting
very,
it's
put that on the back of a Spot Mini and you got problems.
Yeah. Facts.
They fight a lot in Britain, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they'll fight over anything. Even listening to these guys tell stories and stuff about how it almost seemed like every night that they went out drinking and stuff, it would end in these like brawls or fights of some sort. And I was like, I guess you could do that when there's no guns. Like, for us, we can't fight people because the potential of you ending up dead at the end of that altercation is highly more likely.
Yeah. 7 out of every 10 48 hours episodes starts with outside of a club in downtown Atlanta.
And then pow. So it's like, we can do that. But then they fight it out, and then they just, you get to walk away.
Yeah.
So,
but you live to fight another day.
But you live to fight another day.
I believe that in America they would never, they would see that as some sort of illegal search and seizure to an extent. Like I think the Supreme Court would not allow it to be like, well, if you want to come in Oklahoma, you're gonna have to get butt naked. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just driving through Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma don't fuck with that, so get butt naked.
Yeah, like you say that, but we need to make sure that you ain't got guns in your cabin.
Yeah, come up off
or
your
some marijuana. Where your marijuana?
Yeah,
give me that.
It's. There's some sort of tomfoolery, collusion going on that I could foresee in the next, 10 to 15 years. And I don't want to end up with a fucking telescreen in my pocket. Mr. Swanson, stand at attention. You must watch that 2 minutes hate. And it's like, I don't want to be a part of that.
I don't want the flim-flammery of like going up to a business door and it being like, watch this 1 minute and 30-second ad before you're allowed inside of this building.
Yeah.
Like I can just think of so many ways it could be extrapolated that I do fear that like that data collection and what it means to
and
our
there's
world.
no protections for that in the Bill of Rights.
Interestingly enough, though, the person who threw the bomb was never found or convicted. Louis Ling ended up blowing half of his jaw off with a blasting cap.
They always do that.
Yeah, he ended up blowing his jaw off with a blasting cap and writing something in his jail cell in blood. He ended up dying 6 hours afterwards. He just fucking like agonizingly died.
I'll show you.
Yeah, and so he was like very
blow my own jaw
adamant.
off and write "fuck you" in blood. Nobody's really landed on our beaches. We've never had a Normandy. We've never had Pearl Harbor is the only thing I can think of, and that was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So when
it's been really just a expanding manifest destiny kind of.
Yeah,
like,
we've
get
been
the
just
fuck
kinda,
out, get the fuck out, move the fuck out the way. This is ours now.
We'll take this one, this one, and this one.
Your island it's got a little bit of guano on it.
Yeah,
your
guano-covered islands are ours now, buddy.
That's true.
But we've never really worried too much about people like landing on us. But then I saw the headline that China's Navy was bigger than America's Navy. And I thought to myself, like, that's scary. Like, my initial fear response of like, oh my God, China's coming for they're coming for the title belt. They're coming for the crown. So I started looking into this a little bit more because like I don't want to be like Red Scare. I don't want to be like the Chinese are coming. The Chinese are coming. Like we're wearing them on our body or all over us. They made all of our electronics. They're here.
Yeah.
The Chinese.
They're in
here.
our electrical transformers.
They're here, guys. Like if I think about World War III, I don't really look at Civil War being like the big thing that scares me. I don't think that the Democrats and the Republicans are going to meet on the battlefield of Gettysburg. I think that's going to be fought on Facebook. That's going to be the Facebook front.
Well, no, I think that this is fucking bullshit.
QAnon told me that
this is the way they want it to be.
We've been surrounding Russia with nations and military bases that are favorable to America.
Same.
Yeah.
So when we start having their entire western border filled with alliances and military bases or people who will let us use their military bases, there's a lot of that going on in American politics. I could also see why Russia would be a little bit like, hey, man, could you back off my borders a little bit?
You know what I mean?
Could you chill the fuck out? You mind leaving a couple of countries for me to ally with? I mean, shit.
I mean, we were really looking hard at Bulgaria. You swooped in. I looked at who China's allies were and what treaties China has signed. And I was going through like Wikipedia shit, so it's like pretty dense. But one of the big ones was an alliance between like China and then Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan,
The Soviet bloc.
Turkmenistan,
Yeah.
like all those little stan groups. I think Pakistan even is part of it, which is, I mean, if you're India,
That's not looking good for India.
you're
Yeah,
looking at that and
shit.
being like, yo, why is my hat got such a big army? You know what I'm saying?
Those
Like,
guys are glaring down at
those
us
guys
over
are
there.
pretty well armed up there in the north. Winter's coming.
He said, "Why's my hat?"
Say what you will about it. I'm not trying to make a point here. I'm just saying that this is just a historical fact. When the culture becomes very loose with the idea of sex and genders and embraces a lot of androgyny and stuff like that, that also coincides. I mean, that was part of Rome. That was, part of the great empire. Many great empires have fallen right after they got real loosey-goosey with the pants. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they started giving out Jimmy Johns.
Yeah, it's just like, culture has something to play in the downfall of an empire as well.
Yeah. I always think of how I'm like, dude, I could have been born in China. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could have been born anywhere. I could have had any parents. I could have listened to any type of, like, any one of these things. If I had the story like that person has, I probably would be that person. You know what I mean? So it's just
You
like,
would be.
You would be, right? And so you just so happen to have this story. You just so happen to be born here in the United States. You just so happen to be this story. And,
Have some empathy.
yeah, that just, your story could be completely different. So I don't think that, looking at somebody who was just born in China and being like, well, you're the fucking problem. It's
Yep.
like,
And what you're describing solves racism too.
right.
Because it's like they're you.
they're you.
They're
They're just
all
you.
everyone is you, dummy.
Just born, and they just happen to be born in this country or with this skin color.
They
or
just
with
happen
that.
to have this organic makeup, but it's the literal genetic same as yours.
You,
Like you're
yeah.
a human.
Yep.
Like, if I test your pee, I'm not gonna say, well, this is white person pee. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all the
I
same
do.
fucking
I know what
thing.
you're saying. I know what you're saying. I'm
Absolutely.
picking up what you're putting down.